Wrote this, and before we get going, I just wanted to mention to everyone the reason why I did this. I think a lot of people really wonder why these people act like this, why these people sacrifice children, why they are all pedophiles, why they worship a demon, basically. And I think that there's a lot of people that are not okay with just the answer of, well, they're just sick, or, well, they're just psychologically deranged, which they are. And I wanted to present some substance to what they're doing and why they're doing it, because there is a real biology behind this. There is a real science behind this that they are taking advantage of. There's a real understanding, a fundamental understanding of human beings at every level, body, mind, and spirit. And these people have capitalized on the information that they have had for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years. I'm going to get into it here, but these slides are going to help folks understand just how pernicious these people are. Ruthless. They are ruthless hunters. And they are completely self-consumed. Totally self-consumed. And there's no saving these folks. These folks are dyed-to-the-wool Luciferian Satanists. They have completely given themselves to this cult. And there's no turning back, and they never will stop. And so the best thing we can do as human beings is we can educate ourselves as to what they're doing and why they're doing it. Because you've got to understand and know your enemy if you're ever going to overcome or defeat your enemy. You absolutely have to understand them fundamentally. And so, because I never see this kind of information on the internet except in just sporadic pockets that I've been looking through for years and years now, I thought if I could put it all together in a way that I understand it, maybe it'll help a lot of folks. And the best thing I think everyone can do is just take the whole of what I've written here and just consider it. And that, I guess, is a good place to start with this warning. This recording isn't for kids. This recording, this is going to frighten children, and it's going to really challenge. It's going to have some challenging words in it. So there's no gory pictures or anything like that. It's really difficult words to hear, and it's not for kids. Okay, so the slide content is here. I'm not going to read every one of these. The reason why I put those there was that if some of this stuff gets too heavy or gets just over the line for you, just skip to the next slide. This isn't a book. I didn't make this like you would make a wall or learn math. It's not one thing builds upon the other. You can actually read these slides individually, and they pretty much stand on their own. Now, I've grouped the ones that are of similar content together, obviously, and so those are the ones that are a number of different slides, but then there's also a number of them that are just a single slide that will hold its own. So if there's anything that you just can't tolerate reading, or just is too much for you, especially when we get into the 20s, just skip to the next one, because there's some really good information about the biology of ritual murder and then the appropriate human response, which I think is applicable to anyone, no matter what you believe, or no matter what, if you're a human being and don't like killing and murdering and hunting down children, you would go along with the kind of thing I'm going to say at the end of this. Slide 1. The purpose of this essay is threefold and strewn throughout this document. 1. Expose the Luciferian cult, the science and biology behind its human sacrifice rituals, and the psychology which drives them. 2. Expose how Luciferians have influenced the West since the beginning, and how that relates to number 1. 3. Offer a self-responsible, internally driven response to rid of these parasites and the red herrings they have foisted upon humanity. Slide 2. Life eats life on this planet. That's the way it works around here. Trees grow greenest at the cemetery. The slowest gazelle is caught first and feeds the lion cub. The forest fire brings forth new growth. The death becoming life reciprocal is one of the most difficult truths to accept in all of nature. We are natural, conscious creatures, so we are aware both life and death is within us. Yin, yang. This raw aspect of ourselves must be accorded, or it will become a source of anxiety, and the mind will become vulnerable to false impressions. This essay is a study of Leviathan, the master of false impressions, and the people who worship it. And I'll just make mention before I go to slide 3, that middle sentence there, or a few sentences. There's a great DVD by Dr. Joseph Campbell called Mythos. It's a DVD set. And he really helps folks come into accord with this life and death principle that we have within us. Dr. Campbell does an outstanding job of helping people come into accord with that without having to believe anything, but just through your own innate understanding. Okay, slide 3. There is much concern these days about Luciferianism and child sacrifice due to the emerging discoveries of this heinous activity rife within the ranks of global banking, political leadership, and the Vatican. All realms of power on earth take part. It's time we dissect this human-consuming belief system before the Luciferians take over the planet, and with them, human potential. Ask yourself, was it really a fruit Adam and Eve ate that day in Eden? Or is the story referencing something much deeper in the human psyche? Further, is the version of Eden taught to you the actual story, or is it a red herring? The Luciferians have their version of Eden, and I've never heard it put exactly like I do, because I have not heard or read a person yet who has connected the dots like I have. So maybe my thoughts about this stuff will act as a serendipitous, disenchanting agent for our planetary plight. I'll say this. Hearing the Luciferian version of Eden for me was in fact an experience of Satori. It clarified their lies, it connected the dots, and most importantly, it helped to explain their extremely anti-human motivations and behaviors throughout history and even today. Slide 5. Luciferians have run the world since organized human history began. They have been steering and shaping the planetary cultural vector since long before the United States, Rome, or even the Egyptians. This cult goes way back. It's also known as the Old Religion. They have maintained direct contact with a fourth-dimensional being known as Lucifer for thousands of years. Lucifer is a parasitic, genderless phantasmagoria. It has been anthropomorphized into human recognizable forms and names throughout time, and all over the world. It, and a legion of other fourth-dimensional beings like it, have been pilfering the human race since the beginning. Luciferians communicate directly with Lucifer through the ritual practice of child sacrifice. This practice to evoke and convene with Leviathan originated in the cult of Baal. Baal is just a name for Leviathan or Lucifer or Moloch. These are all referencing the same energy. The cult of Baal, which is the oldest cult ever established on this planet, is the ancient precursor to Luciferianism. Luciferianism, I personally consider simply a formalized and highly organized cult of Baal. Slide 6. Luciferianism is both a religion and a bloodline. Satanism is a lower echelon of Luciferianism for those outside the bloodline and wealth prerequisites to qualify as a true Luciferian. Money can buy you into the Luciferian cult, but only bloodline accesses leadership. The highest ranks in the Luciferian cult are not voted in. They are bestowed rank through female genetic lineage carefully steered by the cult through select breeding within the blue blood family lines. Like a king's executive rulership is bestowed to his firstborn son. It's a similar idea in Luciferianism, but like the Jews, it's the female who carries the genetic that counts. Luciferians involve 13 plus one hidden royal bloodline families. Instead of just one family ruling like an imperialist, kingly monarchy, Luciferians have many at the top, so it's a bit more complicated and integrates many more ranking members. There is much disagreement and infighting and personal agenda between the families, but they all follow a singular agenda, and that is to control and rule the planet. Here's a list of the families. You're going to recognize a number of these. Astor, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy, Lee, Onassis, Reynolds, Rockefeller, Rothschild, Russell, Van Dyne, and Merovingian. Slide 7. The Merovingian line is the most secretive of all the Luciferian families. They wield the most power as they carry the purest satanic genetic. I'll refer back to that throughout this slideshow. The popular artist Marina Abramovic claims to be from the Merovingian bloodline. In fact, she outranks Bill Clinton, who is actually a Rockefeller. Names are changed in Luciferianism to hide the true identity